Hey guys, this is Allison from Allykatkreations. How are you? I'm hanging in. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you would like to support my work, all the links will be in the description box below. We're going to touch upon the Hermit's journey, but I got some updates. I think I found a house and I'm going for an inspection on Monday. So my last 48 hours has been insane. Um, Put in an offer yesterday and I got a counter today, went back with another counter, and then finally submitted the final best and final today. And I think I got it. So that was a lot of phone calls and a lot of back and forth. So I didn't do a video yesterday. Today, still exhausting. I did a lot of cleaning, back and forth on the phone again. Um, Scheduled an inspection on the new house. And it's not new, it's older, but upgraded, move-in ready. I really like it. So I have an inspection on Monday and I have to go to the bank and settle some stuff with them and get a cashier's check and some cash. So it's been busy, very, very busy. I'm really excited, really, really excited. Um, I had my first meal last night and I had a little brunch earlier. Really excited. And yeah, so far so good. Liking everything, and this journey's been rough doing it by yourself and having to rely upon strangers to do the right thing. But I know my team upstairs is really guiding me through all of this. And I know it's close to the holidays, so things get a little bit, people try to take advantage of you. But I want to get this done before the new year, so I'm not screwed on taxes. And yes, I get we shouldn't be paying those things. But when you're doing house and eventually a car and everything else, it involves taxes. So you have to work within the system you are given to live in. That's what happens. Just saying. So I'm not aware of where I put my notes for the Manly P. Hall book. So I haven't done the Hermit's Journey in a very long time. And because I'm doing this on my own, no help, I figured we'd continue with Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Because I love Nietzsche anyway, and why not? I think it's very fitting, to be honest. Yeah, kitties are okay. I cleaned out, I got a dustbuster, a dirt devil, um, so that I can have a cleaner room. And I was able to throw out some trash today, and these little stupid things make a big difference in my life. So they're okay. They're under the bed, sleeping. So what's been going on in the world today has synced with the book coming world changes. And I felt it would be appropriate to read some of the sections in this book, because as we're going through our journey, as many of us are by ourselves, we are faced with a lot of these new things that people are talking about in society. For those of you who follow some political entities, we've been told that there's a plan and that things are going to go according to this plan, and that we just need to do our due diligence as citizens and do the research and documents and read, which a lot of us do obsessively. But about a year ago, what really started to make me question a lot of things is, why did I end up in my situation in the first place? Why wasn't the laws challenged because they're illegal? Why wasn't the Nuremberg Code initiated? Why wasn't a lot of these things put into place? Because you have to catch the bad guys, but then you're putting a lot of good people at harm's way. I'm very blessed that this was a change I needed to have happen. I signed up and arranged for this madness. But there are a lot of people back where I was that are in dire need. And I've been screaming at the rooftops over a year about this, that no matter what political agenda you subscribe to, no matter what, humanity is suffering at hands of both sides. And now people are starting to stand up, but I was standing up a year ago and it like deaf's ears. I'm hungry. I'm cold. I'm hot. Like, I didn't have air conditioning all summer. Every month I was having panic attacks, no sleep, lost 40 pounds. For what? And I'm very thankful for the people who have kept me alive, which is just about everyone that watches me, because it's my reason of like keep going and having a purpose, you know. This is a very big transition for me. I never been here before. I've been in the state before, but I have never ventured this far out. This is just like I put my finger on a map, I asked God what to do, and I've got steered here. So navigating, getting around, doing this all alone with nobody. I don't have family here. I know one person that lives over here. That's it. And I'm not asking them to, come to my rescue or save me. This is all just putting a leap of faith, taking the fool's journey of the tarot cards after having a tower moment and using my Ace of Pentacles to have a new beginning in a place I've never been before. This is the Hermit's journey. We're awakened to new things each and every day. People are awakening more now en masse, which is also according to God's plan, because the Schumann resonance started spiking the other day. I totally felt it. More and more people are becoming aware of the injustices that has taken place, and especially against me, because when they hear my story, like, are you kidding me? The soul tribes are finding each other. The people that are supposed to go on quests together to do certain missions are finding each other. Slowly, we're all sort of communing together. It's just the beginning stages, guys. It's just the beginning. But we're starting to get into this impasse and the stalemate right now. Whereas we protested, we did the lawsuits, we did the emails, we pitched our signs in front of people's borough halls and county courthouses and school boards, and people are talking, people are going to meetings, people are doing things. It doesn't seem like anything's really taking place. I know a lot is behind the scenes, but I mean, Amish mindset, once again, you know, I asked the person that I know that lives here, you know, do you know anybody in sales that, you know, for cars? I am like a freaking ant driving around here in my little tiny car. I need something bigger, and especially for winter, I need four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. So I need something a little bit bigger with more space. This way, when I go to the storage facility, I can start back putting boxes and the smaller stuff into a vehicle. It won't fit into this one. I would need 1,000,005 trips to the storage facility, which is not that far from the place anyway, but I have to do things a little bit more efficiently. I still feel like I'm acting as if I still have nothing, so that I preserve myself and that I can give to back to people who need it. And I can't do that until I moved in and everything is settled. But I'm trying. What are you abundant in? Every day I'm still on Facebook and YouTube and all the other platforms, and I'm liking, sharing, subscribing when I can, spreading happiness and knowledge to people. What are you doing? We've journeyed out of the cave. We're becoming and knowing that we are more than what we really are. On a soul level, many of us are discovering our actual soul essence, not necessarily our past lives, but what fractals of the universe make us up. So, to make us individuals, what's working through us? As we're going through this journey, you could see you could create and manifest things, but it's only going to manifest if it's meant to be. If you put it in your path to manifest. Most of the time you did. Sometimes you didn't. And sometimes you have to be really careful what you're thinking about and what you're putting out into the ether. During this journey, we are trying to learn how to communicate without truth puking all over people. Because some people can only withstand so much. There's a lot of people who are, you know, transitioners that were seeding the information slowly through just memes and posts in our everyday conversations at the supermarket or at the store. We're seeding people. I walked into a Target the other day. No one. Everybody was so kind and friendly. There was no plexiglass up. It was beautiful. Not to have to maneuver around plexiglass. Weird. Morgan came. So as we traverse these very unnerving, trying times, especially now during the holidays, I figured I would start on the pale criminal. So this is Thus Spoke Zarathustra, and let us begin. You do not want to kill, O judges and sacrificers, until the animal has nodded. Behold, the pale criminal has nodded. Out of his eyes speaks the great contempt. Quote, my ego is something that shall be overcome. My ego is to me the great contempt of man, end quote. That is what his eyes says. That he judged himself. That was his highest moment. Do not let the sublime return to his baselessness. There is no redemption for one who suffers so of himself, except a quick death. Your killing, O judges, shall be pity and not revenge. And as you kill, be sure that you yourselves justify life. It is not enough to make your peace with the man you kill. Your sadness shall be love of the overman. Thus you shall justify your living on. Enemy, you shall say, but not villain. Sick, you shall say, but not scoundrel. Fool, you shall say, but not sinner. And you, red judge, if you were to tell out loud all that you have already done in thought, everyone would cry, away with this filth and this poisonous worm. But thought is one thing, the deed is another, and the image of the deed still another. The wheel of causality does not roll between them. An image made this pale man pale. He was equal to his deed when he did it, but he could not bear its image after it was done. Now he always saw himself as the doer of one deed. Madness, I call this. The exemption now became the essence for him. A chalk streak stops a hen. The stroke that he himself struck stopped his poor reason. Madness after the deed, I call this. Listen, old judges, there is yet another madness, and that comes before the deed. Alas, you have not yet crept deep enough into this soul. Thus speaks the red judge. Why did this criminal murder? He wanted to rob. But I say unto you, his soul wanted blood, not robbery. His thirst after bliss of the knife. His poor reason, however, did not comprehend this madness and persuaded him. What matters blood? It asked. Don't you want at least to commit a robbery with it? To take revenge? And he listened to his poor reason. Its speech lay upon him like lead. So he robbed when he murdered. He did not want to be ashamed of his madness. And now the lead of his guilt lies upon him. And again, his poor reason is so stiff, so paralyzed, so heavy. If only he could shake his head, then his burden would roll off. But who could shake this head? What is this man? A heap of disease, which through his spirit reach out into the world. There they want to catch their prey. What is this man? A bowl of wild snakes, which rarely enjoy rest from each other. So they go forth singingly and seek prey in the world. Behold the poor body, what it suffered and converted, this poor soul interpreted for itself. It interpreted it as murderous lust, greed for the bliss of the knife. Those who became sick today are overcome by that evil which is evil today. They want to hurt with that which hurts them. But they have been other ages and other evil and good. Once doubt was evil and the will to itself. Then the sick became heretics or witches. As heretics or witches, they suffered and wanted to inflict suffering. But your ears do not want to accept this. It harms your good people, you say to me. But what matter? Your good people to me. Much about your good people nauseates me, and verily, it is not their evil. Indeed, I wish they had a madness of which they might perish like the pale criminal. Verily, I wish their madness were called truth, loyalty, or justice, but they have their virtue in order to live long in wretched contentment. I am a railing by the torrent. Let those who can grasp me, your crutch, however, I am not. Thus spoke Zarathustra. We can apply that to the legal system in the United States currently, maybe many other countries as well. For reals. The next section on reading and writing. If we look at the journey that we're all going on, how much more reading have we been doing? I do a lot of reading, but how much more have you done? How much more writing have you done? Just sharing your personal experience. How many emails have you wrote to your legislatures, to your congressmen, women, to whomever? Now think of the kids. As we move into a technological age, the art of actually writing with a pen or a pencil has become very undertaught. I know while I was in the school system, kids, even in 4th and 5th grade, still had a really hard time printing words, and they're not taught cursive. I think I started cursive in 3rd grade, maybe 2nd. So there's a lot of things that we really need to get back to basics with when it comes to the children. Let's see what this has to say. Of all that is written, I love only that a man has written with his blood. Write with blood, and you will experience the blood in spirit. It is not easily possible to understand the blood of another. I hate reading idlers. Whoever knows the reader will henceforth do nothing for the reader. Another century of readers and the spirit itself will sink. That everyone may learn to read in the long run corrupts not only writing, but also thinking. Once the spirit was God, then he became man, and now even becomes rabble. Truth. Whoever writes in blood and aphorisms does not want to be read, but to be learned by heart. In the mountains, the shortest way is from peak to peak, but for that one must have long legs. Aphorisms should be peaks, and those who are addressed, tall and lofty, the air thin and pure, danger near, and spirit full of gay sarcasm. Not in the sexual terms, in the happy terms. Just putting that one out there. These go well together. I want to have goblins around me, for I am courageous. Courage that put ghosts to flight creates goblins for itself. Courage wants to laugh. I no longer feel as you do, this cloud which I see beneath me, this blackness and gravity at which I laugh. This is your thundercloud. You look up when you feel the need for elevation, and I look down because I am elevated. Who among you can laugh and be elevated at the same time? Whoever climbs the highest mountains laughs at all tragic plays and tragic seriousness. Brave, unconcerned, mocking, violent, Thus wisdom wants us. She is a woman and always loves only a warrior. You say to me, life is hard to bear. But why would you have your pride in the morning and your resignation in the evening? Life is hard to bear, but do not act so tenderly. We are all of us fair beasts of burden, male and female asses. What do we have in common with the rosebud, which trembles because a drop of dew lies on it? True, we love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving. There is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. And to me, too, as I am disposed towards life, butterflies and soap bubbles and whatever among men is of their kind seem to know most about happiness. Seeing these light, foolish, delicate, mobile little souls flutter, that seduces Zarathustra to tears and songs. I would believe only in a God, lowercase g, who could dance. And when I saw my devil, I found him serious, thorough, profound, and solemn. It was the spirit of gravity. Through him, all things fall. Pause. In Hermeticism, not necessarily Hermeticism, but in occult, esoteric philosophies, mind you, they don't see the devil as being good or bad. It's of the negative polarity, and that we all chose to fall from the higher densities, which came into materialism. So the devil in most of these people who write existentialism might not be of the devil being bad or good. It's that this is the devil simulation. This is what we fell into, materialism, third density. Not by wrath does one kill, but by laughter. Come, let us kill the spirit of gravity. I have learned to walk ever since I let myself run. I have learned to fly ever since. I do not want to be pushed before moving along. Now I am light. Now I fly. Now I see myself beneath myself. Now a God dances through me. Thus spoke Zarathustra. That's pretty heavy right there. Before we move on to the next section, it poses the question, when you do read things and from somebody's soul essence, it's all channeled information. Is it coming from you? But who are you? Is it coming from the negative polarity or the positive polarity? Most of the writings in the world have been infiltrated with some truths and a lot of falsehoods, a lot of white lies. So on our journey, as we are ascending above, as we're getting out of the reflection, we need to start really thinking about asking for our higher guidance, for discernment when we read such things, and only take the things that resonate with what's in your soul. It's very important. On the tree, on the mountainside, Zarathustra's eye had noted that a youth avoided him, and one evening as he walked alone through the mountains surrounding the town, which is called the Motley Cow. Behold, on his walk, he found this youth as he sat leaning against a tree, looking weary into the valley. Zarathustra gripped the tree under which the youth was sitting and spoke thus, quote, "If I wanted to shake this tree with my hand, I should not be able to do it. But the wind, which we do not see, tortures and bends it in whatever direction it pleases. It is by invisible hands that we are bent and tortured worse." End quote. Then the youth got up in consideration and said, "I hear Zarathustra. I was thinking of him." Zarathustra replied, "Why should that frighten you? But it is with man as it is with the tree. The more he aspires to the height and light, the more strongly do his roots strive earthward, downward, into the dark, the deep, into evil." "Yes, into evil," cried the youth. "How is it possible that you discovered my soul?" Zarathustra smiled and said, "Some souls one will never discover unless one invests in them first." "Yes, into evil," the youth cried once more. "You have spoken the truth, Zarathustra. I no longer trust myself since I aspire to the height, and nobody trusts me anymore. How did this happen?" "I changed too fast. My today refutes my yesterday. I often skip steps when I climb. No step forgives me that. When I'm at the top, I always find myself alone. Nobody speaks to me. The frost of loneliness makes me shiver. What do I want up high?" Sounds like a lot of us. "My contempt and my longing grow at the same time. The higher I climb, the more I despise the climber." What does he want up high? How ashamed I am of my climbing and stumbling. How I mock at my violent panting. How I hate the flyer. How weary I am up high. Here the youth stopped, and Zarathustra contemplated the tree beside which they stood and spoke thus, "This tree stands lonely here in the mountains. It grew high above man and beast, and if it wanted to speak, it would have nobody who could understand it. So high has it grown. Now it waits and waits for what is it waiting? It dwells too near the seat of the clouds. Surely it waits for the first lightning." When Zarathustra had said this, the youth cried with violent gestures, "Yes, Zarathustra, you are speaking the truth. I long to go under when I aspire to the height, and you are the lightning for which I waited. Behold, what am I? Now that you have appeared among us, it is the envy of you that has destroyed me." Thus spoke the youth, and he wept bitterly. But Zarathustra put his arm around him and led him away. And when they had walked together for a while, Zarathustra began to speak thus, "It tears my heart. Better than your words tell it. Your eyes tell me of all your dangers. You are not yet free. You still search for freedom. You are worn from your search and awake. You aspire to the free heights. Your soul thirsts for the stars. But your wicked instincts too thirst for freedom. Your wild dogs want freedom. They bark with joy in their cellar when your spirit plans to open all prisons. To me, you are still a prisoner who is plotting his freedom. Alas, in such prisoners, the soul becomes clever, but also deceitful and bad. And even the liberated spirit must still purify himself. Much prison and mustness still remain in him. His eyes must still become pure. Indeed, I know your danger, but by my love and hope, I beseech you, do not throw away your love and hope. You still feel noble, and the others too feel your nobility. Though they bear you a grudge and send you evil glances, know that the noble man stands in everybody's way. The noble man stands in the way of good too. And even if they call him one of the good, they thus want to do away with him. We're seeing this right now. The noble man wants to create something new and a new virtue. The good want the old, and the old be preserved. Can't have the old anymore. But this is not the danger of the noble man, that he might become one of the good, but a churl, a mocker, a destroyer. Alas, I knew noble men who lost their highest hope. Then they slander all high hopes. Then they lived impunitely in belief, in brief pleasures, and barely cast their goals beyond the day. Spirit too was lost, so they say. Then the wings of their spirit broke, and now their spirit crawls about and soils what it gnaws. Once they thought of becoming heroes, now they are voluntaries. I'm not going to get that word projected, guys. The hero is for them an offense and a fright. But by my love and hope, I beseech you, do not throw away the hero in your soul. Hold holy your highest hope. Thus spoke Zarathustra. We are in this right now. I'm going to leave it there. It's big. What I am seeing, and again, I've been super busy. And not to say distracted, but like, I got to have my life affairs put first, right? But the things that I do catch up on, I am noticing a lot of people who are being ignored because the topics are a little too painful or a little too PC for people to tackle. So the people that bring out the very truth in document form are being kind of casted away, interrupted, because the unpleasantness of understanding what those documents mean. We're all one. We all represent each other. So regardless of what faith you fall under and what you identify as, you're human and you are one with everything. So that's why I don't get offended by much, because I am everything in totality. And when people bring out what the injustices that has been done to humanity and the people that you need to place blame on, and not to shame, just to point out that this can never happen again, and we can't allow this again, and we need to bring those people forth for justice, whether it be divine justice, godly justice, or earthly justice, still needs to happen. We can't ignore those people. As we ascend, we see the darkness more. Many of us are seeing, as we are grounding ourselves like the tree, we're seeing the evils even more and even louder than ever before. We're feeling it more. As Zarathustra is talking to that youth, many of us are on that climb. We go peak to peak. We're getting our knowledge, we're getting our downloads, we're getting channeled by a highest source. And then sometimes we question what we're getting downloaded. We're questioning and we're bringing it back down into the material world to try to like, what is this? And sift it out. It's not easy. And some of it is shadow work and some of it is negative and some of it, we have to confront those aspects of ourselves. We have to confront the evil within. You're a devil in someone's story. Sorry, but you are. I am. Everybody is. You might have had different intentions and someone took you the wrong way, right? It's on them. But still, you are evil in someone's story. So when you're able to accept that you have both sides, because this still is duality, whether you like it or not, but you are one with the universe. So where on the pendulum do you swing? Are you choosing the higher vibes? And are you mastering how far back the pendulum goes? You dictate that, no one else. The journey is a lot of traumatic healing that you need to do. I know right now I'm walking this journey alone, by myself. I'm still by myself with my cat. This journey is something that I needed to do by myself. Many of you are probably feeling the same, and it continuously will continue until more people start dealing with their trauma and healing from their trauma and releasing their trauma, to have a bird's eye view, to see where they are on the mountain. How did they get there? What did they have to go through? What did you have to go through to get that high? And I bet you those things that got you to that height weren't pleasant. Soul growth is very hard. Earth school is extremely hard. We chose to be here for this time now because the strongest survived, strongest souls. You're a part of that. You're okay being a hermit because in your hermit mode, you're learning, you're growing, you're healing, you're releasing, you're forgiving, and you're moving forward. And that takes a long process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not an everyday thing on your mind. But as you go through your day-to-day, you're always being challenged and put through tests from the universe. And this is the biggest test I've ever had to take in my life. How to navigate all of this alone with no help. And not to say that I don't have people talking to me and cheering me on and being cheerleaders for me, and I love them. And I'm very happy that I have plenty of people to do that for me and give me really good advice and sound advice. But they can't sign those documents. They can't be here physically with me. The journey is alone. We can't place judgment on other people. People are still brainwashed. People are still falling for the lies. And you can only do your due diligence and rising above them and just spreading your seeds of light, your knowledge, your information. And the people that are going to listen and hear you are the ones that need to hear it. And the ones that you're seeding, their unconscious hears you. It's picked up by their unconscious. Just because they don't recognize you physically in the here and the now doesn't mean that their mind didn't pick up what you were telling them. We got to be true and honest to ourselves, and we have to stop living in a lie. Be humble about your life. That's why I'm doing my journey as raw and as unfiltered as I possibly can, because this is not easy. And there are plenty of people in my situation that I hope watch me, see me go through this. This is not easy. It took me away from this channel. It took me away from my studies and my books. It's uncomfortable. The cats have been through hell, but I'm here, I'm alive. They're here, they're alive. We're making it work. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. And I hope at the end of the day, you feel the same way. Each and every day, you're putting energy forward to making a difference somewhere in your communities, your local community, or the people in and around you. If you take little minutes and little steps each day, humanity will become a better place. We won't be hermits much longer. We're going to be very vitally needed in this world. Our knowledge, going through everything that we've gone through, there are going to be people that don't have the strength to go through it, and we're going to give them the strength. We're going to be their cheerleaders. We're going to be their mentors. That's all that's really important right now. We need to be here for one another. It doesn't matter how far or close you are to somebody. Check in. Make that a goal once a week to check in with somebody you haven't heard for in a little bit. It might be the most unpleasant conversation you might have, or they might not pick up the phone, but you're putting that energy out there and you're making an effort. Sometimes it's the very scary things that we need to confront that are what's going to break the veil and break through. Be the man on the mountain, jumping the peaks, understanding the evil that's out there, but understanding that's a component of you that you need to respect, understand, and then change your mindset. When you understand how people operate and analyze why people do what they do, it's usually for greed, lust, money, and all the sins. But why? What did they lack in their life? Why can't they heal their hurts? There's always a reason for things. Nothing's a coincidence. But the journey of the hermit and ourselves will be rising higher and higher. And we can't forget about the other components of ourselves that we're leaving at the bottom of the mountain, grounded with the tree. There's still duality, and we still need to appreciate, respect, and understand that. And as we do ascend, those components won't be lost because they're always a part of our soul and our learning process. So with that, sending each and every one of you love and light. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hermit's Journey. I'm hoping I can find my Manly P. Hall book. Crossing my fingers. I know I have so many damn books on site with me. And I just miss. And I haven't done one of these episodes, and I think it was so vitally needed. So I hope you enjoyed that. And until the next time, see you guys. I should have a better update maybe tomorrow or Monday. And I'm excited. New journey, new life, new me. Stay tuned. See you in the next one, guys.